Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel, finished in black with absolutely tons of extras fitted to the car, notably this wonderful exterior pack. Looks absolutely fantastic. They also got these lovely black edition 19-inch alloys from Honda as well, high level rear spoiler. All adds up to give you a really subtle but absolutely stunning effect. Really changes the look of the car. So going around the car for you. Front of the car really clean, lights and lenses clear and intact. Front bumper generally very good indeed. Bonnet itself again very clean. There's obviously going to be the odd minor stone chip on there, but there's nothing that sort of immediately jumps out at me. Near side of the vehicle, really smooth on the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations on there. Near side front alloy, generally very good. Outside edge, as you'd expect with such a big wheel, has got some minor marking on there, and it is there, but I'm being hypercritical, but the whole point of the video basically. Near side rear alloy, again, generally very good, and you can just see again right on the silver bits on the outside, just some sort of minor marking there. You could easily touch it in if you wanted to, but in all honesty, I don't see the need. But let me say, that's probably my favourite angle for these CR-Vs. Looks absolutely stunning. The spoiler treatment and the low-level silver trims, just so effective. And so it's only sort of minor things, but really makes a massive difference, and all really nicely kept as well. Offside of the vehicle, as with the near side, can't see any indentations in there at all. Offside rear alloy, very good indeed. Remaining panel work down this side, it's very good indeed. A final alloy on the front there, again really good, with again just minor markings right on the outside edge of the wheel, but we're looking at a really handsome looking car in lovely condition. Coming to the boot area now, absolutely massive boots on the CR-Vs of course. Quick folding rear seats, all working exactly as they should, and it's been kept really well in here. It's not always the case with CR-Vs. They are family cars, much as with the back seats, that they can be very heavily used, but this one's been given relatively light use. It's coming to the back now. Worth pointing out, these doors open virtually to 90 degrees, which will give you really good access into the CR-Vs. Coming in here, you can see immediately how much legroom you get. They are massive in the back, and those seats are set for me, and I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm not cheating. That's about as bad as it gets. But full black leather interior, and it's a miracle to see a CR-V in the back, which is actually as good as this one is, in all honesty. Let's come to the front now. Driver's door card, lovely and clean. Footwell areas again, all lovely and clean as well. And front passenger seat there looks really good. It's not been given a lot of use to that seat, I don't think. So coming to the driver's door card, again, really good. Footwell areas all nice and tidy again. And driver's seat, just obviously this has got electric memory settings for 2 people. But again, really good. And it's the one that obviously takes all the wear anywhere, is much better than you'd normally see in a car this age of mileage. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section, so the dash can be seen illuminated, which to all intents and purposes looks absolutely as new. You can see there sat-nav working absolutely perfectly. Pop the car into reverse. You got this lovely clear gridded parking camera, again all working perfectly. Coming down, it's just been kept so well, really has. And finally up to the dashboard there, 57,344 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all whilst the engine's running. But it really is in fabulous condition here. They're lovely cars inside. Almost forgot, just to show you, lock and wheel nut key is here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. This particular car is registered LF14 LF14VPJ, and mileage showing at 57,337 miles. The reason we do these videos, as I always say, very simply, is basically we just want anyone that's looking at the cars on our website in an advert to actually see those very vehicles in operation. The reason we think it's important is basically because we know just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which, whilst it can look fine in the photographs and the description provided, all too often, unfortunately, you get there and drive it and find out it's got a fundamental issue which clearly you should have been told about before setting off. So hence, that's why we do it. It's also done on part of the road test route any prospective buyer would go on, and the reason for that, hopefully then, it would be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, these are lovely cars. My wife's got exactly the same as this, a white one with the same body kit, so it's kind of a bit of a busman's holiday really, but they're just a fabulous car in every single way. This particular car, engine starts instantly of course and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And the temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle, and the car's been running for quite some time now. But the engines are just brilliant units. They're very smooth and refined in operation. They also are incredibly long-lasting and reliable. That's something they've always been noted for. But also just really nice to use day in, day out, because it's not a given that a turbo diesel engine will sit happily with an automatic gearbox. Quite often they don't actually, especially sort of lower horsepower ones or lower capacity ones where basically they have lots of power in a very short burst, but it tails off very quickly and it confuses the gearbox. So the gearbox is going up and down the gears the whole time, whereas this one, it rarely has to change gear. There's so much torque and such a broad spread of power with the engine, it doesn't necessitate it at all. But they are lovely, lovely units. The gearbox themselves, this gearbox actually goes back to the last generation CR-V, which Honda, at the time that they brought the diesel out, didn't have an automatic really to suit the diesel gearbox. Certainly not the the petrol engine one, because it wasn't designed to have to cope with the torque demands of a diesel engine. So what they did, rather than invest in a new box, they basically massively over-engineered. They put the Honda Legend gearbox into it, and that's their flagship one, from a 3.5 litre V6 car with nearly 300 horsepower. So it is kind of massively over the top, but the benefit is we never touch the gearboxes. They're incredibly strong. But just a lovely gearbox to use day in, day out as well, because it's just so smooth shifting. Notwithstanding reputation, you should still check that, make sure that when you select gear there shouldn't be any kind of clunks or delays going into gear, but also all the gear changes should be smooth, and they're absolutely perfect in the car. Coming to the steering of the vehicle, really nicely done on these CR-Vs, because it gives you a really nice weighting, feels nice and hefty on the road. Tracks dead straight, there's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel at this speed, or any speed up to legal limit actually. But it's just a nice system because it's really precise for this type of car. It flows with the chassis absolutely perfectly, and the chassis gives you a really lovely compromise, which is ultimately what it is, between ride comfort and body control. I won't say handling, so you're not going to be sliding them about, but basically it's very, very comfortable on the move. This is why we like them, but also the reason we like them is the fact that our kids suffer from car sickness, and they don't in the CR-Vs, because they don't have huge amounts of body motion going on, which so many other cars of this type tend to do. So it keeps it all in check, and that's all types of corners. Your fast flowing ones, or tight manoeuvres like the one I'm about to do now, where basically you hit the brakes, swing in, but some cars kind of the nose dives in, they lurch over. There's no such thing in the CR-V. It's really, really nicely done. There's also, again, I'm checking for on the road test, of course, is that there's no kind of knocking noises or clatterings coming from underneath the vehicle, and there is nothing at all. It's all exactly as it should be. Worth pointing out though that it is going to be going for an independent MOT hopefully tomorrow, so obviously all these things will be checked. Just going to come to the brakes in the car and give them a bit of a shove, make sure no one's too close behind. But it's a really nice brake pedal on the car, gives nice powerful instant stopping power, but also there's no pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in good order there. Coming inside the car, not been cleaned yet, but it's clean, so it's not going to take a huge amount. But first thing you notice when you get in any CR-V really is just how well made they are. And there's a kind of a misconception as to what build quality can be, because some motoring magazines in particular, which really irritates me, think that build quality is basically soft squidgy plastics and heavy sounding doors. Well, it isn't. It's actually how they hold together over the years, if they squeak or rattle. There's no squeaks or rattles on these interiors. They're beautifully put together. They're eminently practical, because a lot of the surfaces you can just wipe clean. Honda think about these things because they know what the car's going to be used for, because it's predominantly family use. Things get dropped, spilt, knocked, that kind of stuff, and they hold together brilliantly well. They also happen to be a lovely place to sit and operate a car, because you've got a brilliant visibility front, back and sideways with these huge wing mirrors on the car. And the dashboard itself is attractive to look at, but it's also got a lot of equipment but doesn't phase. It's just an easy car to jump in and drive, and within a few days of driving them you pretty much mastered them. Everything becomes second nature very, very quickly indeed. Everything works exactly as intended in the car. As you can see, the sat nav system, big screen on the EX1 models of course, all working exactly as it should. Air conditioning's pumping out absolutely ice cold air. It's quite a warm day today. You've got dual zones for different temperatures side to side on the vehicle obviously. All the switch gear has wonderful quality of actuation, which is designed to be like that for many, many years ahead. But it feels robust. That's what's nice about it as well. Steering wheel is quite small in diameter, which feels really nice in hand actually as well. It just makes the car feel more manoeuvrable than perhaps it even is, but that's as it is. But all the switches, all the stuff that's meant to be working is working exactly as it should. This is a four-wheel drive car. As I always say, there's no four-wheel drive buttons in CR-Vs, because again Honda worked out that most people will be driving as I am today in perfectly good conditions where you just don't need it operating. Because the problem with running a permanent four-wheel drive system is, it can't help but use more fuel, put more mechanical stress through the car and get through your tyres more quickly. With this, basically runs in front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull a car along pretty much the whole time. It's only when it senses the front wheels starting to lose grip, which is instant by the way, that it brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it's absolutely seamless in operation. And I've used all our CR-Vs for towing caravans and never come close to getting stuck with one of them. It's a brilliant system. Also happens to be incredibly reliable, because its lack of not been used as often basically means that the stress hasn't been put through the four-wheel drive system either. We've been selling these cars for nearly 3 decades using this four-wheel drive system, and we've never put a spanner on any of them over all those cars, and we've sold over 30,000 Hondas, but say at least 10,000 four-wheel drive ones. So it is a very robust system. As I said at the start, the point is just to show this car in operation, so that's the point of the video. It drives absolutely beautifully. It really does. It's exactly like my wife's, so of course it does. But wonderful, wonderful vehicle. As always though, if you've got any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.